Selamat malam Tribuners. Kali ini kita kembali lagi hadir di acara Bincang Karya bersama saya Donny Yosua cuma di YouTube Tribun Toraja. Dan saat ini kita kedatangan tamu spesial yang sangat spesial. Kita kedatangan seorang fotografer dan sekaligus blogger dari Jerman, Mr. Collin. And also dan juga tour guide dari Toraja Tour. Bersama saya ada Kak Lisa, saba, Palloan. Mungkin bisa say hello dulu.
Selamat malam Tribuners.
Selamat sore.
Ya, selamat sore menjelang malam lah ya.
Oh, malam.
Malam actually. So, jadi podcast kali ini kita cukup spesial karena akan menggunakan dua bahasa, yaitu bahasa Indonesia dan bahasa Inggris. Dan jangan lupa nyalakan closed caption atau subtitle, di klik tombol CC di bawah untuk menyalakan subtitle. Jadi kita kedatangan fotografer dan blogger asal Jerman, Mr. Collin. Before we begin, sir, you probably want to introduce yourself first to the audience.
Yes, thank you very much for having me here. I'm Collin, and I have been in Keindahan Toraja the first time in 2015, and I fell in love with the place and the culture, and so I came back in the following years, and I met Lisa. The first day I met Lisa, and so we decided to collaborate and make a book about Keindahan Toraja, and especially about budaya.
The Torajanese culture.
Yes.
Ya. Dan kemudian mungkin Kak Lisa bisa memperkenalkan diri dulu.
Oke Tribuners, nama saya Lisa Soba, saya pemandu lokal, pemandu tour guide Toraja, Toraja Tour. Saya bertemu Mr. Collin secara kebetulannya, dan dia membutuhkan pemandu untuk itu. Akhirnya kami ketemu dan dia berinisiatif untuk melakukan sesuatu yang berbeda. So, sebagai seorang pemandu, ya kita harus memberi apa yang klien atau tamu kita perlukan. Jadi saya asli Toraja.
Asli Toraja ya? Tinggal di?
Saya tinggal sekarang di Balele, di Rantepau.
Di Rantepau, dekat. Tetangga. Jadi mungkin nanti Kak Lisa bisa, saya panggil Kak aja ya, biar bisa Kak Lisa bantu terjemahkan nanti kalau misalnya saya kurang mampu. Jadi, maklum saja lah ya.
Siap bantu.
Now, first I want to ask Mr. Collins. So, from what I heard, you were a journalist a long time ago, but right now
Yes.
you're a blogger and a photographer
And traveler.
and a traveler.
Yeah.
So, how before you came to Toraja, what countries have you visited before?
Many countries.
Many
and
countries.
Mostly in Asia.
Mostly in Asia.
I have not been in South America. I have not been in Africa, but I have been in most
Countries
Asian
in
countries.
Asia.
Yeah.
So, and right now you're bringing us the photo book. Is it a photo book or just a book?
Well, it's a book with a lot of photos, but our main goal was to give an outlook on the culture of Toraja, which is to give especially tourists, foreigners who come here and see all the funerals and the grave, the cliffs, and all this, that they will have more understanding of the context of what they see.
So you're giving them insights before visiting Toraja.
We hope to.
We hope to. Right?
hope.
And before publishing this book, have you ever published any similar book like this on different cultures?
Yes, I have. I have an MA in Indian culture, so I have published one book about old Indian logical theories, but that's not for the general public. It's a scientific book, and I think probably almost nobody will read it.
So it's like dissertation, like
yeah,
journals?
Yeah, and it's in a journal.
It's a journal for the
It's in a German Journal of Indian
cultures.
So, and I have been with one other tribal people in India, and I have photographed there, but this is a long time ago, and I have published a newspaper article about them.
About the tribal
people of the Maurya in Bastar, in central India. Otherwise, I have written no books so far.
So this
just
is
vlogs.
Your first published book?
It's my first beautiful published book.
Beautiful published book. Wow, polished. So, before you came here, you came here in 2015,
Yes.
the first time. You came here as a tourist back then.
Yes.
Not as a journalist, not as a photographer, actually.
Well,
you have no intention on making books before that?
No, not intention, but I have an intention of making beautiful photos, and then sometimes selling these photos also. And I have my webpage where I publish them. So I came with the photos, and actually the reason I came here, may I show?
Yeah, sure.
Was one photo. It's this photo of the cliffs of Lemo, and I saw that before I came here when we were still planning our trip, and I said, that's the place I want to go first. That's so fascinating. This is so capturing all my imagination. So I wanted to go to Keindahan Toraja first, and I never regretted to do this.
So that photo sparked your interest in visiting Toraja the first time.
Yes.
And then, from what I read in your book, it's okay, we can leave it there. From what I read in your book, you prefer like human interest photos.
Yes.
So because the first photo sparked your interest in Torajanese culture. What sparked your interest in showing the life of the locals here in Toraja?
Well, it is very unique to come to a place which is a modern place and a Christian place, but which has retained so much of its adat, of its traditional life, and is living it. And it's not like in other places, it tends to become
obscure, probably.
No, not obscure, but folkloristic.
Futuristic. So
folkloristic. Folk, you know, people go on a stage and they put on the old costumes, and then they play for money, and that's not living culture.
It's like
that's just opera. A folk show. Yeah, it's like an opera. Yeah, but here people live their culture. We as tourists can go to a funeral, but they don't make the funeral for us. Yeah. They make it for themselves, and it's so fascinating to see that and being so vivid and so alive. So that was really my fascination here.
And then, how did you explore and depict the daily lives of the Torajanese people in your photo book?
Yeah, when I came here the first time in 2015, I was with my son. He was 18, 19 at the time. And we met Lisa, and he was our tour guide for the first day, and he showed us around. And then we said, okay, this is so interesting, but we don't want to see only the touristic side. Can you give can you bring us to a village with just normal people, not a homestay, not a hotel, where we can just live for a week or 10 days and watch the people? And he brought us to Marwang Tongkonan. Marwang and Neyayu, the eldest of Marwang Tongkonan, agreed that we stay there. I'm very thankful. And then my son and me just stayed there and watched the people live. And we didn't speak the language, but it's just watching and getting the feeling of the everyday life and making photos, of course. So, and that was the initial spark to come back and come back again.
So the first time you came to Toraja, you lived in Marwang Tongkonan
for about 10 days.
10 days with your son. And that sparks your interest on how do Torajanese people do their daily life,
Yes.
and it makes you want to make like an insights books on them.
I didn't think of a book at that time.
Not yet.
Actually, at that time, I was in dire need of a book myself.
Oh.
Before I came to Tanah Toraja, I knew this is a very unique culture. So I wanted to have some information. So I'm not just the tourist with a photo, making pictures, but not understanding what he sees. It's just exotic, but there is no deep understanding. So I was searching for a book, and there was nothing. I didn't find any book. I looked in Amazon, I couldn't get a book. The only book I got, and I did buy it and read it, was Kathleen Adams' book, Art and Politics. And she's an anthropologist, and there are a lot of books for university use on Toraja. There are many anthropologists who have been here, but these books are not easy to read.
It's not meant for the general public.
No.
And
they don't give you an overlook, an oversight. They usually go into some details and go very deep, but you don't understand the context. So I thought later, when we came back in 2018 and 19, and I had already wrote a blog about our visit to Tanah Toraja. And then I said to Lisa, hey, why don't we make a book? We have the photos. We have seen so much. You know so much. We can work together and write a book for the other tourists who might, some of them, who maybe some of them also want to read more to get an understanding, a deeper understanding of the culture.
Oh, so that makes you want to write a book.
Yeah.
And then what sets the life? Before you said you were living with the tribal people in India before, like for several months.
Yes.
And then what sets the life of Torajanese people apart from other places you have visited before?
The people in India lived a very
traditional way
remote life.
Remote life.
And they lived in their villages, but they didn't embrace much of modern technology, modern living. And the unique, the fascinating thing about Tanah Toraja is that people here are living a very modern life. They have wonderful studios, and they broadcast on YouTube and use it. And so it's all modern life, but the modern life did not destroy their adherence to their culture and their adat. And this is very different from most places I have been.
So it's like people in Tanah Toraja, no, people in Toraja in general incorporate modern life into their culture in Aluk.
Yes.
Like that.
Or I would say the other way around. And this is a very difficult task. I mean, it's very difficult to incorporate your full culture and still live it into a modern world, and also into a Christian world that is into a world with a belief which comes from the outside. It's not Aluk Todolo world anymore, which makes it easy to live the tradition, but it's a world of Christianity, and to really live this culture and to love it is difficult and fascinating.
And yet people in Toraja actually accomplished that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, before I continue, I want to talk to Kak Lisa. Kita ngobrol-ngobrol ganti-gantian lah ya. Jadi, Kak Lisa, how long, kita bahasa Indonesia aja lah. Jadi, Kak Lisa sudah berapa lama jadi tour? Toraja Tour sendiri itu sudah berapa lama berjalan?
Kalau Toraja Tour itu sendiri kurang lebih 7 tahun ya.
7 tahun, dari 2015 berarti?
Iya, tapi untuk istilahnya saya mulai pakai nama itu untuk promosi pariwisata dan menjadi tour guide, mulai dari situ 2015. Tapi saya berlisensi tahun 5 tahun sebelumnya. Jadi
2010 lah.
Ya, 2010
Jadi
saya
itu
berlisensi.
sudah berlisensi.
Ya.
Dan biasanya sebelum Toraja Tour itu berarti kerja sama penyedia jasa atau sendiri?
Saya freelance.
Freelance.
Ya, saya lebih banyak ke freelance dan saya bisa bahasa Inggris secara otodidak juga. Jadi saya just learn by doing. Jadi dengan mengikuti senior, saya ikut tour mereka, jadi porter mereka ngangkat-ngangkat barang, menikmati prosesnya dan endingnya bisa sampai ya bisa berjalan lah.
Sampai sekarang lah ya.
Iya, bisa survive lah.
Kemudian tadi kan Kak Lisa, Pak Collin bicara tentang keterlibatan Kak Lisa dalam buku ini. Nah, bagaimana kolaborasi antara Anda sebagai tour guide dengan Mr. Collin sebagai seorang fotografer dan blogger dalam penulisan buku ini?
Ya, di sini saya Collin bukan hanya sebatas klien atau tamu saya pada saat itu. Jadi di setiap tamu-tamu saya atau klien saya menganggap mereka itu sebagai kawan dan mencoba memahami apa yang dia butuhkan dan apa yang saya bisa kerjakan atau apa yang saya bisa bantukan. Nah, lewat perjalanan ini, di samping sebagai tour guide-nya, saya masih memberikan ide-ide bagusnya seperti ini. Contoh ada di dalam buku tentang satu upacara yang sangat jarang kita bisa dapatkan ya. Beruntung kalau bisa dapat kalau ke Toraja, namanya lantang pangan. Itu pas beliau ada di Toraja,
kebetulan
lantas ada saya mencari informasi tentang itu, ayo kita ke sana. Nah, di awalnya nggak ada kepikiran untuk akan dimasukkan ke dalam buku, tetapi dia melihat secara langsung bahwa, wow, ini sesuatu yang berbeda, akhirnya ya.
Jadi lantang pangan itu beda sama rambu solo biasa, yang sering ada.
Ya, karena ini hanya wilayah tertentu yang melakukan adat seperti ini.
Kayak bagaimana lantang pangan?
Lantang pangan itu istilahnya kalau dalam bahasa Toraja orang bilang mati malole, artinya mati di usia muda, belum menikah kan seperti itu.
Belum menikah, ya. Harus belum menikah.
Bukan harus belum menikah.
Kalau misalnya kalau misalnya sudah menikah umur 20 lah, terus meninggal, itu mati malole?
Kembali lagi ke aturan yang berlaku dalam setiap wilayah adat. Kan ada 32 wilayah adat dengan aturannya sendiri. Tapi secara khusus untuk lantang pangan sendiri ada 2 atau 3 wilayah adat tertentu yang masih mempertahankan budaya ini.
Lantang malole itu tadi meninggal usia muda.
Ya. Jadi diproseslah secara prosesi rambu solonya itu yang disebut lantang pangan. Kenapa disebut lantang pangan? Ada teman-temannya, saudaranya yang datang membawakan mainan. Jadi itu dibuat kayak contoh kayak di Rantepau itu kayak kadian dulang, dibuat rumah-rumah adat tetapi dihiasi dengan lampu-lampu. Jadi ini tuh rekan sepermainan saya seperti itu. Ini keluarganya yang datang. Jadi nilainya seharga dengan 1 ekor kerbau sih.
Untuk satu
lantang pangan itu. Kami sangat beruntung pas dapat prosesi yang cukup wow, di mana berjejer lantang pangannya.
Jadi kayak miniatur rumah begitu, bukan?
Iya, kayak miniatur rumah, dan di situ kan ada main obor juga kan, main sumber api, dan ini funeral ceremony, upacara adat, tetapi seperti festival. Karena di situ semua hadir, dari yang muda sampai yang tua, dari yang anak-anak sampai yang tua. Kita bisa lihat di dalam buku ini kelompok anak-anak yang datang bawa buah-buahan, istilahnya ini hanya ini yang saya bisa bawa untuk keluarga seperti itu. Jadi masih ada bawa sayur-sayuran, buah, bahkan beras seperti itu. Jadi prosesi upacaranya berbeda dengan upacara umum yang kita tahu ya. Datang bawa kerbau, bawa babi seperti itu.
Duduk
ini lebih ke komunitas ininya yang melakukan proses ini.
Jadi kalau biasanya kan orang datang bawa babi duduk pulang. Ini istilahnya teman-temannya, teman sepermainannya datang turut berduka, bawakan ini mainan.
Bawa
apa yang bisa saya bawa?
Apa yang saya bisa
Bukan
bawa.
wajib saya harus bawa babi, tidak.
Iya, enggak.
Saya datang bawa buah.
Jadi untuk prosesi adatnya yang seperti ramso itu tersendiri kayak digabung.
Oh, luar biasa. Nah, kemudian kembali ke penulisan buku tadi. Sebagai tour guide lokal, bagaimana Kak Lisa membantu turis yang datang, terutama orang-orang seperti Mr. Collin yang tertarik dengan budaya Toraja dalam memahami dan menggambarkan kehidupan masyarakat Toraja dengan secara lebih mendalam.
Jadi untuk wisatawan sendiri artinya seperti ini. Kita harus kenali dulu
Orangnya,
jenis yang kita mau bawa ini. Artinya apa passionnya, apa kegemarannya. Dia gemar fotografi, otomatis berbicara sesuatu yang indah-indah. Jadi kita harus istilahnya ada 3 yang sangat penting yang dimiliki oleh pemandu itu. Itu knowledge, attitude, dan passion. Artinya humble, become humble. Jadi 3 hal ini yang menjadi prinsip dasar dalam guiding. Kalau kita punya pengetahuan, tetapi tidak ada attitude, kan sama juga.
kurang ajar.
Ya, kita istilahnya tamunya penyabar. Lantas kita cerewet terus, kan nggak nyambung. Jadi di sini bagi saya, bagaimana untuk membantu mereka, misalkan contoh seperti Collin sendiri untuk menulis, jadi apa kebutuhannya, saya coba memasuki apa yang dia butuhkan. Misalkan dia butuh cerita tentang aluk. Jadi saya harus menuju ke sumber. Jadi di sini saya bukan membawa diri saya sebagai orang adat atau Tomina, tapi saya harus mencari sumber yang memang masih yang real, yang masih hidup di dalam aluk Todolo dan melakukan way of adat itu, jalan adat itu.
Jadi datang antar ke situ, bukan membuat diri sebagai Tomina bilang saya begini.
Ya,
nggak boleh.
Harus, iya, itu tadi ya, makanya kan saya berani untuk terobos zona nyaman itu untuk ke sana dapat informasi dan mengartikan, artinya mengartikan ke dalam bahasa mereka untuk mereka bisa pahami apa yang kita dapatkan dari sudut Tomina ini misalkan.
Nah, itu kalau diantar ke Tomina.
Ya.
Bagaimana Kak Lisa membantu menjembatani kesenjangan budaya dan bahasa yang mungkin wisatawan atau peneliti hadapi dalam saat berinteraksi dengan masyarakat setempat, terutama yang kayak Tomina dan sumber-sumber cerita oral lainnya.
Ya, kembali ke itu lagi ya, artinya bagaimana kita bangun hubungan dulu dengan masyarakatnya dulu. Jadi local wisdom dulu yang kita masuki. Seperti suatu prosesi yang kita mau teliti seperti itu, saya harus survei dulu, mencari tahu dulu siapa yang bisa saya ajak untuk ini dan siapa yang benar-benar artinya bukan 100% mengetahui, tapi paling tidak bisa menjadi sumber informasi yang tepat untuk klien saya seperti itu.
Oh, jadi tidak langsung
datang, tidak langsung datang ya.
Pelan-pelan tanya-tanya dulu. Ya, bisakah begini?
Ya.
Oh, jadi
apakah bisa bercerita tentang ini? Kebanyakan kita masuk bagaimana pandangan Anda tentang ini. Dan secara perlahan kita Toraja kan istilahnya budaya tutur.
Ya.
Nah, paling senangnya itu kan kita ngobrol sesuatu dan akhirnya akan berkembang menjadi sesuatu yang mungkin kita belum ketahui. Tapi kalau dengan ngomong seperti ini, nantinya dia akan menyampaikan informasi dan inilah yang saya cari, maka saya akan kasih ketemu teman saya, dia kebetulan mencari informasi ini, ketemulah di situ.
Oh, luar biasa. Nah, back to Mr. Collins. Let's talk about your photographs. How did you approach the Torajanese people and build relationship with them to capture authentic images? Like previously, you told me behind the camera that you have your own muse here in Toraja, like you have your own grandkids.
Yeah. When you want to make portraits and be a foreigner, the main thing is being friendly and showing interest and getting a connection. You don't have to speak the language to make a connection with people. You can do it with your eyes. And when I feel there is a connection, then I can ask, can I make a photo? And in Marwan Tongkonan, where we have lived in 2015, there was a little girl and she was 3 years old.
Back then?
Back then, she was 3 years old and she would always come to me on the veranda and sit on my lap when we came home from a bike trip and say, show photos. I mean, I didn't know what she says, but it was clear she wanted to see the photos. So we looked through the photos, and she gives me stories and stories. She tells about everything, and I don't understand a word, but still, it was a wonderful communication. And I felt she's my muse, and she also was a wonderful model. May I show the photo of her? I made one photo of her where she really modeled just because she had fun to do that. I didn't ask her to model. And this is one of the photos that really got a lot of attention in photo contests. And so, I don't know, like this. It's her, that's Guna from Marawang.
What's her name?
Guna.
Guna.
Yeah, like my wife.
Oh, all right.
But from another language.
Gonna. Namanya Gonna.
Gonna.
Yeah.
Magonna.
Magonna.
Oh. So you made like deep connection without using any
yes, you can do that.
Verbal communication.
Yeah, yes, you can do that. And when I'm in other places too, I made a lot of portraits in Flores. It's just getting into contact, into eye contact with the people, and make them feel relaxed, you know, make them feel at ease with you. And then make a photo, show them, start laughing, and then make the next one and have fun.
Yeah. So
the process of making photos must be a game between me and the people I photograph. Then it's good.
Do you have any, like, did you face any specific challenges while taking photos in Toraja?
No.
No challenges at all.
No.
Like it's hard to make the model or something like that. No.
No. The only challenge is when I try to make portraits of people, street portraits in Germany.
No. Why is that so?
Because you cannot make in Germany any photo anymore because of data security.
Oh, privacy.
And privacy.
Yeah.
And I was once had a job for a kindergarten, you know, kindergarten, and I should portray the kindergarten. And I said, okay, then I need children. And they said, that's a problem. Can you take the pictures from the children from behind so people don't see their faces?
Oh, yet people here are very excited.
They love it. They love photos, and they love being on photos, and they love making photos of me, selfies. And I always say, yes.
Yeah, like,
make photos.
You're like a local celebrity.
Yeah, I love it.
That's really different from
very
Western
different.
world.
Yeah. Oh, it has started only maybe 10 years ago. Before, people didn't mind either getting photographed, but in the last 10 years, there has been so much discussion about privacy. and I don't know what's going on in the West.
That's what differentiates from people here to Western.
Very much.
People. Now, from this book, what do you aim to convey or tell the readers through this book about life in Toraja?
Well, as I said, the context of the rituals that they see. Why do they do it? And so in this context, we talk about aluk. I'm not a specialist on aluk, but we try to understand enough of aluk. We had this discussion with the Tomina, and so we try to give them an outlook. There is another religion that was here before, and that was very closely related to everything, and what is it about, and what is it about. And one thing is, most people in the West, when they come here and they go home with the impression that the Torajan people are very much occupied with the topic of death.
Yeah,
it's all about death in Toraja. You know, you kill the kerbau and you have these funerals and all. And from my experience in talking with the Tomina and from being taught by my guru, I think it's about balance. It's about balance of the spirits. The spirits are the spirits of the living people, but also the spirits of the ancestors, which are not gone, which are thought of being here in a sense, and also the spirits of nature. And all the rituals make sense that they bring a harmony between these many spirits that all live here. We are not only us living people, and we own the world now. You know, that's a very Western way of thinking.
Yeah.
But here it's we all together.
One with nature, spirits and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. And then what do you hope readers will feel or learn from this book that you made?
Oh, that's their business.
That's it. You don't have any intention like, I want you to feel like you want to preserve this culture or something.
No, I don't want to teach anybody. I just want to show as much as I understand and can show, and I want people to broaden their mind, not just go there and see funerals and say we have been at the place where they do all about death, but to understand more, and what they do with this understanding. That's the business of the reader, not mine. I'm not a teacher.
But actually, this book is, in certain way, parallels with the government's plan on sustainable tourism. So, like, this book,
it might help.
It might help.
It might help for sustainable tourism, because when you have sustainable tourism, you also need to have sustainable tourists.
Yes.
And if people just come here for the thrill, that's not sustainable.
They only came
but
for.
Then we have to sell this book to everyone, and I would love to sell it to every tourist. But I don't know how many tourists will be interested to read a book. That will be interesting to see.
But I think they will be interested to buy this book since it's a.
Let's see.
In your experience writing this book, or for both of you, buat Kak Lisa juga, are there any unique cultural elements of Toraja that captivated both of you and received special attention in this book? Yeah, before we talk about Lantampangan.
That's the festival of the funeral of lights.
Yeah, and then are there any more like unique cultural elements of Toraja that captivated both of you and received a special places in this book?
Aluk Tudolo. The discussion we had with the Tomina, I think, was for both of us.
Yeah, the way of the
very, very touching. And there should be more.
There should be more.
It's difficult for me, but maybe for him there will be more. And I think that was that's the centerpiece of our experience. Maybe not the centerpiece of the book, but of our experience, yes.
So that deserves a special, or is it in?
Oh, we have a chapter about Aluk Tudolo, and we have this talk that the Tomina had with us. We have this in the book, and we also have an interview with the Reverend from the Church of Toraja.
Gereja Toraja. Sama pendeta.
So Anggui.
Alfred Anggui, yeah.
Dr. Alfred.
We've worked with him before.
Alfred Anggui.
Yeah.
So he was the one giving us the interview. And so I think, I don't know how the reader will see it. Maybe the readers will be more interested in other parts of the book. But for me, this is very interesting to have the opinion of Reverend Anggui. And then on the next page, the talk that the Tomina gave us. So I think for me this is a highlight.
That's the highlight of this book.
For me.
For you.
Yeah, the reader may judge for himself.
So before you were saying like you didn't meet any challenges on writing this book.
I didn't meet what?
You didn't meet any challenges on writing this book.
No, on taking the photos.
Oh, on taking the photos.
On taking the photos, that's what I understood. Writing the book, was a total challenge for me.
That's
I think writing is very difficult. It is very hard. And when you write about a culture which is so foreign to your own culture, it is very difficult. It's also psychologically difficult because, of course, you have the feeling that you're presumptuous, that you have no right to talk about other people.
Yeah.
And to overcome that and to write a book together with Lisa and with a lot of discussion between us, that we both felt it's not presumptuous, it's something, it says something of value about Toraja, even so I'm the outsider. That was a hard process. It took a long time. That wasn't easy.
That was like languages barrier on writing.
Yeah, not just a language barrier, but to think that what we say is good.
Oh, like
and is valid, you know. I can come as an outsider and I can write a personal blog, what I experienced. But this book is not about our experience, but it's meant to be about Toraja culture. And so we have to be much more careful, because I can write anything, because if it's my experience, yes, it's my experience. Who can deny that it's not? But we wanted to write something about Toraja culture, which is not about how we see it.
It's about how people
how it is in a way. Of course, it's much more than this. It's much more than in the book. So, but the book, our aim was that whatever is in the book, people can say, and Tomina and the Reverend and the leaders can say, that's okay. That's us. That's a picture of us.
So you're trying not to be offensive.
Also not offensive, but we are critical.
Critical, but not offensive.
Yes. Never be offensive. No, that's no.
Faced like someone being offended by your critical way of thinking in Toraja?
I haven't met anybody. Have you? Has anybody been offended?
Ada yang tersinggung kah gara-gara maksudnya pas ditanya-tanya soal nggak ada. Mungkin mereka lebih they're excited on telling you the stories about Toraja culture, I think.
Yeah. And I think people are not so easily offended when the criticism is real and genuine, and not offensive.
Yeah.
You know, I don't value Toraja culture higher than any other culture, or lower, or mine, or so. I just come here and I want to be objective and understand it. And so when there is criticism in the book about the effect that money has nowadays on the rituals, and we think it's a very not a good effect, and it could be a danger even to other. We write that, but I don't think anybody will feel offended. I hope not.
I hope not. We hope not. Yet, get ready for a angry email if you do. Now, a question for both of you. Like you said before, people here living in modern world yet incorporate their own adat, their own culture into the modern world. How does it influence you?
In my life?
In your life.
No.
And also when you document the lives of the Torajanese community here into your book, like how does it influence you?
It doesn't.
It doesn't?
It doesn't, and I don't want it to. Let me explain. I have seen articles in National Geographic. The woman comes here and it looks like she has lost somebody. And she comes here and tries to ask, how do Toraja people deal with death? And what can I learn from it? And I think we don't have to learn from it. You know, it's not that's an angle I don't want to take. Torajan people don't have to learn from me. I don't have to learn from Torajan people, just to experience that the fact how they live and how their culture and how rich their culture is. This is what affects me, just to see the diversity of the world and see there is not only one way, not only the German way of making everything very strict and very, but there are so many other cultures and so many other ways. And in a world where all the cultures tend to merge into Disneyland, you know what I mean? It's a value by itself to see other cultures who are vivid, who are living, and who have wonderful values. But it's not that I come here and ask, what can you teach me to change my life and have a better life? No, I have a good life in Germany.
So it doesn't affect you in your own life, but you wish like people can see Torajan culture and people as it is.
Yes.
And then
the sheer fact, the pure fact that there is this culture is enriching my life. So it's not that I go to the Tomina and want to learn him. Oh, he told me something. I have allergies, and he asked him if he can help me with my allergies.
Oh, so he offered you like
he offered no, not herbs, but he told me what to do. Oh. I should go home and bring a flower to the grave of my mother, which is 500 kilometers away from where I live, and you usually don't go there. So I did. I took the car and I took the flower and I drove it's 800 kilometers, and it was wonderful to be at the grave of my mother again and give the flowers. But my allergy didn't go away. And so, I don't mind, you know. I didn't come here to be cured by Torajan people. I come here to admire Torajan people and the diversity of human possibilities, cultural possibilities.
But does it affect, influence you in your perspective on photography? From your experience here in Toraja, does it affect your...
No, I can't say that. I can't say that.
You can't say that.
I mean, it's beautiful pictures that you can make here. It's very unique sites, but I make photos all over the world, and it's not that I could say one place changes the way I make photography. No.
Now, final question. It's like a quiz, right? So, one last question. Where can I get this book? If I want to buy one, where can I get this?
There's the Lokabane bookstore.
Lokabane
bookstores, and we hope that many hotels will take the book in commission and sell it to their guests. We have a flyer. Where's the flyer?
Oh,
we have a flyer, and we ask the hotel owners to show the flyer on the reception desk. It's a short description. It's the content of the book, so that the tourists or whoever wants to buy it sees what he's getting when he's buying it. And we hope that the hotel owners will take some books in storage and sell it in commission for us. But we are not come very far, so it's only a few hotels.
When did you release this book? I forgot to ask that. When did you release this book?
When?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. It's new, so
it's totally new. We finished the book in 2019, and then I made the layout is from a professional layouter in Makassar, and we made the layout online together. So it was finished, and then COVID came, and the whole project was on ice. Nothing going on anymore, and now I came back, and now we printed it in Yogyakarta. It's printed in Yogyakarta, so it's a good quality, and shipped to Makassar. And my wife and me, we came to Makassar to pick it up and bring it up here. We have 500 copies.
500 copies of this book.
Yeah.
Well, we do hope that it will be sold out.
We do.
Are you going to sell it outside of Toraja? Like, are you going to sell it in Germany, in Makassar, or in Jakarta?
Most people will only sell it on commission. And so we cannot sell it in Makassar, because Lisa cannot go every second month to Makassar and check if they have sold some and do the job, you know. now. And in Germany, it will be in one specialized bookstore. There is one huge bookstore in Hamburg, which is specialized on travel literature. And they will take some, they buy them, and they will sell them there. But otherwise, it will be sold maybe through my website, but mainly the vast majority of books we plan to sell to the tourists who come to Toraja, because they come to Toraja, so they show an interest in the culture of Toraja, so they are all here. So why sell it in Germany? You find from 1 million people, you find 5 maybe who will ever go to Toraja. But here, all the tourists who come here, they're interested. Or at least they should be interested. They should be.
And they should buy this book.
I hope so.
Only in your website. What's your website again?
It's collinkey.com.
www.collin-key.com. Bisa nanti dicek di website Tribun Toraja. Kita bakal ada rilis. And also in Lokabane Bookstore. Lokabane Bookstore, jangan lupa kunjungi untuk bisa dapatkan buku ini. Nah, before we end this podcast, do you have anything to say to our closing statements to our viewers?
If I would say anything, be open. Be open to different cultures and enjoy the diversity of life. And you are all, most of you, Indonesian people, and there is no country in the world with so much diversity of nature, but also of cultures, and value that.
Dan dari Kak Lisa sendiri mungkin closing statement.
Kalau dari saya pribadi sih mengenai budaya itu sendiri ya. Budaya itu dinamis, hargai perbedaan pendapat di setiap wilayah masing-masing. Jangan monoton. Toraja punya 32 wilayah adat dengan sudut pandangnya masing-masing. Jadi itu yang perlu kita jaga. Jangan menjadikan perbedaan yang ada di dalam sudut pandang itu menjadi sekat di dalam.
Betul. Istilahnya tanah lepongan bulan jangan terkotak-kotakan.
Karena kita ada satu kesatuan.
Yes.
Untuk lepongan bulan, tanah material.
Betul.
Jangan dipisah lagi. Tanah material dan
lepongan bulan. Mentang-mentang terbagi 2 ya. Tapi ya, itulah. Thank you for coming, Mr. Collin dan Kak Lisa.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Thank you for coming to our art talks, Bincang Karya.
Thank you, terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Terima kasih juga Kak Lisa sudah datang ke sini bisa berbincang-bincang dengan kita. Terima kasih sudah memperkenalkan buku ini yang bercerita tentang budaya Toraja. Thank you for introducing this book that talk about Torajan culture.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Dan itu dia bincang-bincang kita kali ini, bincang karya kita kali ini bersama Mr. Collin Key dan Kak Lisa Saba Palloan. Sampai jumpa di bincang karya selanjutnya, Tribuners. Selamat malam dan bye-bye.
Bye.